Going. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Spot Podcast. It's your boy Real. I'm here with Johnny Richardson. He is what I'm getting from it, a motivational speaker, a business owner.
Business owner.
I know you're an entrepreneur, but you also help others with their businesses, correct?
Correct.
All right.
I do, absolutely.
So tell me more about your business.
Yep. So our main niche is in the real estate market. That's where really our core is with everything. So when I help people with their businesses, a lot of people are in real estate right here in Vegas. They might work at a boutique brokerage, and they could help call it 100 agents here in the local area. So what I do is I'm on a national network, so I'm able to help real estate agents here. This morning I was on with a team in Miami, for example, and we're getting them up and running in Miami.
Okay.
Last week we were in Texas, and we were working with operations over in Texas. So along with that, with my business side of it, I am a motivational speaker, more educational and educating entrepreneurs and other business owners and real estate agents how to grow their business. One of those ways we do it is we show them how to bring in ancillary services. And when I say ancillary services, you see over the last couple of years, companies like Zillow, Realtor.com, they do what's called point-to-point. They don't just do real estate anymore.
What do you mean by point-to-point?
They'll do the full transaction. They'll do title work.
Okay.
They'll do mortgage. They'll bring in insurance services.
Okay.
So those are the companies that we'll bring in and will help people get established in places like Miami. Not just show them how to be a real estate agent, we'll show them how to be a business owner, how to develop an operation, how to bring in a title company, how to bring in a mortgage company, how to bring in additional income. It's just like anything out there. If you have one pond to fish out of, when that pond's running low, what are you eating out of? Nothing.
Right.
We show real estate agents and business owners how to fish out of multiple ponds instead.
Yeah.
So you got many avenues of income feeding your pipeline and your money and your income and so on and so forth.
And so you primarily focus on realty, right?
Real estate's our main niche.
And do you happen to branch off and help others as far as with any other kind of entrepreneurships that they're looking into?
The company that I worked with and did a talk with probably about a week and a half ago, just before I left for Texas.
Yeah.
They were in the Amazon space as far as shipping and receiving. Some of them are business owners.
Yeah.
So being that I came from the car business, I ran an insurance company, timeshare. There's a lot of different worlds I came from besides real estate.
Yeah.
To where I help and educate people as far as one of my main niches. What I'm good at is developing a structured plan, a formula. So I can look at somebody's business, because that's what I did with mine. I didn't just look at real estate. I looked at other businesses, what I could bring into real estate, and I show people how to do the same exact thing as well.
Okay.
So when I talk to somebody that's in e-commerce, for example, let me take a look at your system, and I'll show them and educate them and assist them. So this is what I would do if I was in this business. Now, I'm not a professional in e-commerce, but I am really good at systems at the end of the day.
Gotcha. So right now too, tell us how you got into all of this that you're doing. What motivates you to want to jump into realty and motivational speaking and helping others?
So it all started, I was in the car business for 9 years back in my 20s. So that's when I really started to get my sales education more than anything. I kind of fell into the real estate game. It wasn't intentional. 2008 came, had 8-9 years in the car business. And at that point there, they weren't financing cars. Everybody was upside down. I didn't know what to do. I was a manager for a truck store. They came in, gave me a severance check, said, we're laying you off. I fought it. I said, you're not laying me off. I'm staying on this lot. I stayed on for 6 months, and I begged to leave 6 months later.
You begged to leave?
Yeah, because it just, nothing was moving.
Right.
I mean, in that form of business, you're paid on commissions. If cars aren't moving on the lot, you're making $0.
So it went from you selling them, nah, I'm not going to,
you know what?
Send me away.
Exactly. Show me the door, please. I was like, keep the severance check. I'm gone. So I walked out, and bad part was I had a company car. So leaving the car business, I'm like, now I don't have a car.
Oh, man.
I'm like out of money. I'm like, so I remember
what happened here.
I ended up getting this jalopy out of Philadelphia, this Honda Accord with the doors falling off. And I'm coming out driving brand new cars every day. And I'm like, this sucks.
Right.
But it was what it was. So I'm literally eating out of ramen noodles, whatever, living down towards Atlantic City and just not knowing what I'm going to do. And I went down and they said, unemployment office has free classes. I said, all right. I was like working at restaurants, figuring it out, making some chump change just to get by. And so I was like, a real estate class. All right, sounds good. I'll do that. They're going to pay for the school. It was like $400 that they covered. You still have to pay for your services through the state and everything.
Yeah.
So enough to get in. So I got in, and it wasn't like I was dying to do real estate, but my uncle was a firefighter. And he's like, why don't you come into the fire department, which is going to take another 6-8 months, and then do residential real estate part-time. Like, sounds pretty good. In that meantime, a timeshare company reached out to me. And they said, you got a real estate license, we heard. We heard you can sell like nobody's business. I'm like, yeah, that's what they say. And they said, we want to see you today. So I told my uncle. My uncle's like, go down there, do it for 6 months while you're getting in the fire department, and then just ride it out. You'll make some money, and then we'll get you through in the next 6, and then you're back in the fire department. So, all right, no problem. I got in that timeshare business. Keep in mind, like I said, no money. I went from making $0 to be incredibly wealthy like overnight. It was crazy. I took off like a rocket in the timeshare company. I was rated number 3 in the country in 90 days.
Wow.
It was nuts. It was like a dream come true. I was like, I had more money than I knew what to do with. And months before, I didn't know when I was going to get any money. So I ended up doing that for 6 years. I never looked back at the fire department. And eventually they closed up shop in Atlantic City and they said, get out to Vegas. So I ended up going out to Vegas. That's why I'm here now. So come out to Vegas. I wasn't in the real estate industry at that time, but I was utilizing the license because it's a timeshare product. So I'm out here 6 years into the company. I'm at the top of my game. Everything's amazing, but I didn't feel fulfilled. I'm like, I'm making money. I'm enjoying myself. I'm vacationing. I got everything I want. I got a great life, but I started to have more of that entrepreneur hunger, because I feel you get a lot more of that out here in the West Coast. Out in the East Coast where I grew up in New Jersey, you're not exposed to it as much. You're not exposed around speakers and people doing bigger and better things. The mindset in New Jersey, and I'm talking about the majority, there's always an exception.
Right.
The majority over in Jersey is, hey, get married by 30, have a couple kids, settle down, start packing away your 401k, get ready for retirement. It's like step, 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 just working your way onto the couch watching NASCAR every Sunday. So I'm just like, so coming out here, it was a whole new world, and I loved it. I got super hungry. I'm walking down the strip one day, and my mom, one of my best friends to this day, she's talking to me. She's like, you're never going to be fulfilled until you go out there and build something. I can tell the way you're talking. So talk to an insurance guy. He says, I want you to come in, do residential real estate with us and sell insurance. Did it for 2 years. That's when I started speaking from stage. They said, you're great on stage. You're great in front of people. They put me in front of people. I did it for 2 years. A friend of mine says, you've started to build this brand around you, and where people absolutely love you. I think you just got to go all in on real estate at this point and just dive all the way in, and you're just going to crush it. I was like, all right, let me give it a shot. Closed up my insurance company, jumped into real estate, and they were absolutely right. Still one of my good friends to this day. And I got into real estate, and I got in my first month, I'm selling house after house after house. And they're like, this doesn't happen. It takes someone 6 months to sell their first house. You came in here and you're selling multiple within 30 days. How's this even possible?
Superpower.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why was all that distance between the car business, timeshare, running the insurance business. What I didn't realize this whole time, I was getting educated the entire time by different leaders and different mentors.
Right.
And they're all showing me different avenues, tools, skill sets to leverage to running my own business.
Right.
To where when I got into the real estate side, that's when the business books really started opening.
Wow. So, and are you currently doing any events?
I am. So we have an event coming up this Tuesday, for example. This Tuesday, if I'd have to post it up because we just switched addresses probably 2 hours ago. So we do live events, minimum of 1 a month. We'll probably be doing 3 to 4 a month going into the new year. So the live events that I do are fully value driven. When I say that, we don't charge for these events. A lot of them are driven towards realtors or even loan officers. To entice them to come and see what we're doing, to expand our network with people and just give value to them. The one we have coming up this Tuesday is we're going over as far as how we do lead generation, how we have proper systems to follow up with our clients, proper scripting that we use if you run an operation and you're some form of a business owner like a broker or team leader.
Yeah.
How you would adapt your team and your operation to convert opportunities into potential transactions.
So give me an example of how you would describe that situation to somebody as far as creating more opportunities with the customers.
So when it comes down to the basic person out there, they go, I feel like you get a real estate license too fast. You get it in 120 hours right now. So when they walk into real estate, they expect the transaction to be that easy. When you're working with people,
they want this instant gratification.
Oh yeah, because the license is instant gratification. We were just talking about you being a surgical assistant. I mean, think about those surgeons. How much continuing education do they do?
12 to 14 years.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So that's exactly how I explain it to realtors. I'm like, you don't see somebody go in to get their license to be a surgeon in 120 hours, and they say, I'm not going to do nothing else, and they just raise your hand, I'll change that heart. No, I wouldn't let that guy change my heart. Heck no. He's going to kill me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not going to happen. I mean, he needs some experience.
Yeah, they're not going to allow that to happen anyway, brother. I'm going to let you know now, but that's funny.
Unless it's in North Vegas in the back of a garage or something. You know what I mean?
Some old Simpsons shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in trouble either way.
Yeah, somebody.
Good luck with that. Hope you don't get an infection, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Right next to the 57 Chevy.
You got a greasy thumb, bro.
Exactly.
That's oh my God, I would go ballistic if somebody walked in my OR, bro, dirty.
Oh, could you imagine?
Get your ass out of here.
Exactly.
Doctor, like, what? Oh yeah, you better listen to him. He's finna choke you if you don't get out of here dirty like that. You're like, yo, because I'm the sheriff of the OR. That's what they kind of call our position. Yeah. I'm
watching over everybody.
I'm the one that keeps control of the sterility. But damn, yo. Yeah, you need experience. Trust me.
That's true.
And but though going through that stuff, I do see that they don't just.
Yeah.
They'll allow you to like step in for a second to, hold the instruments. Allow the doctor like, all right, but now then, okay, let me take back over. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's what they do. But they have to get their hands on there though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or
exactly.
You're gonna end up with every doctor like, yeah, it's my first one, bro.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. That's how people are in real estate. So they come in and they're like, well, I got my license. I should have sold a house. It's been a week. I'm like, well, here's the thing. What our strong suit is, we do get realtors results within 30 days. And that's what we educate people on. But you got to constantly implement and preach and tell them this is about practice. It's about education. You're dealing with one of somebody's biggest financial transaction they may ever do.
This
may be the one house. So they're relying on you to do things proper. So one is, can you make your way through a transaction from getting an offer accepted to inspections, to appraisals, finishing out escrow, closing out title properly. And also while you're working with the client where somebody has enough confidence to listen to you. Think about it. Just bring it back to a doctor. It's like, doctor, what do you think? You think my heart's going to be okay? I don't know. And that's the way some realtors talk. It's like their clients ask them, they're like, well, what do you think about this? They're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, do you know what you just did? You just lost all their confidence. Well, I'm new. I'm like, that's why you practice. That's why. So we're constantly teaching as far as scripting, how to handle objections, how to handle as far as whatever scenario comes up in a household. You're dealing with a house. We just had one that was in escrow. They walked in to do a walkthrough, and this was over in Prump. There was 4 foot of water that was in the basement. So now we need to go back into negotiations, figure out, is homeowners insurance going to step in? Is the seller going to step in? Or do we have a warranty to back it up? Whatever it might be,
right.
You need to be educated on this stuff and continue educating yourself. Instead, some realtors will come into the office, work a couple hours, then they go home, watch The Simpsons, eat some Cheerios, then come back and do the same thing. And they just stand around and think they're just going to catch the lucky stick. It doesn't happen that way.
So I'm curious right now as far as how do you get your clientele? Because I mean, look at it from. We see it from your perspective. Like, you got to go out there and build their confidence with the client. But and then you say with the individual employee, whatever, they're like just standing around, right? So do people just walk in, or
You'll get that. I mean, that's like 1 out of 1,000.
so how do you get your clientele?
It's multiple different ways. So everybody has what we call a book of business, like an SOI, a sphere of influence.
Okay.
So as a sphere of influence, like our agents, when they come in, they're required to have a sphere of influence list of 150 people. So they have 150 people that we put together. Now, me personally, I've been in sales a very long time. I hate it when people call me and ask me to buy things. So what we teach and educate people is how to have proper conversations without being pushy. Hey, what's going on? Giving you a call, Uncle Jim. How have things been? How's the family? What's going on with work? What do you have planned for a vacation? First thing Uncle Jim's going to end up doing is say, Johnny, well, what have you been up to? Funny you ask. I just got a real estate license, busted my butt at the office. I don't have to ask him for business. I'm just letting him know that this is what I'm working on right now. And that this way, when Uncle Jim has somebody that flies planes, his friends moving to Vegas from Charlotte, wherever it might be, I'm going to be his first call at that point. You do that with your family, your friends, your ex-wife, whoever you want to put on that list. So also at the same time, like I run a very large operation. Now we're in an informational age where clients, where are they at? They're on the internet right now. Let's call it for what it is. Sometimes people don't think about you. They don't pick up the phone right away. Well, what they're doing is they're shopping online. They're shopping on all your big company
I'm guilty
portals.
of that.
Everybody is. I mean, you name it, is what it is. It's just what we're in now.
Right.
So I also have lead systems that are tied into multiple portals of these companies. We're probably over 15 different portals. So what happens is I have contracts worked out with these companies so that when somebody engages and looks up, I want to see 1, 2, 3 sassafras, for example, then what happens is their information gets shot over to us, and that information would go over in front of one of my realtors or one of my staff, whoever it might be, and then they're given the opportunity to pick up the phone, call that client, have a conversation with that client, proper conversation. And that's one of those parts they have to be trained on. You know, people come in that have zero phone skills, maybe haven't been in much customer service. There's definitely an art to it.
Right.
I mean, it's just like dating. If you call somebody and you're looking to date, like, "Hey, girl," you know what I mean? she's not gonna respond real well. But if you're like, "Hey, Susie, how you been? What's going on? I was thinking about you. You want to go out Friday or Saturday?" You know,
Yeah.
You have a better shot. You're gonna sit down in front of Susie. So it's the same thing. We're teaching those sales skills, so we're having those conversations. We're professionals on the phone at all times.
Okay.
So one is making the contact. 2 is having the skill set to get the client to engage with you and set an appointment and then move forward from that point.
So do you ever get like people who get into realty and they're more expecting like, oh man, I thought this was gonna be like, I know they know it's commission based or whatever. But do you ever get people who assumed it was more like, man, I thought I'd get more like an hourly rate or something like that?
Every once in a while, most people are educated in school that there's no hourly. We have a contract. So in our contract, it's very clear there is no hourly. We don't cover car expenses. We don't pay for insurance. You are an independent contractor at the end of the day. But some people are, you know, well, use this word carefully, delusional. You know?
Hey, yeah. Call it what it is, man. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Delusional. They're like, well, I didn't expect all this. Now, funny part is, gentleman, when I spoke with on stage probably about 3 weeks ago, amazing guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's out in the Carolinas, actually. When he started as a kid, he didn't know. He filled out something on, like, from the newspaper. I'm going to come and do real estate, gets his license. And he said he walked in the first day, and he walked in, and he's standing there, and he's like, okay, where do I go? And they're like, go over there, open the yellow pages, just start calling some people. And after 2 weeks, he's like, well, where do I pick up my paycheck? And they're like, well, you haven't sold any houses. He's like, well, I'm confused. This is a job, like, kinda, you know? But then that broker had told him, says, well, if you sell one house a week, you'll make more than what you're expecting. So he went to work and he sold one house a week for the next 60 weeks. So what's crazy is during that time period, people never sold one house a week. They'd sell one house a month. That was what they were doing within that brokerage.
Yeah.
But because that manager had told him that, he ended up being one of the biggest realtors in the company and just absolutely crushed it.
So tell me, on average, how much can a realtor make on one home?
I mean, it depends on the price of the home, what market.
So let's
you're
say
in.
the home is 550,000.
I mean, you could walk away with, depending on the commission rate, $15,000-$20,000. I mean, you can have a nice payday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a pretty nice payday.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
more than what I make a month.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
I mean, you can do well with it.
You can actually sit on one house a month, because that's what made me wonder, like, you sell one house a month, like, you're actually making enough to cover bills? Like, and I don't know anything that you're educating me now. So,
Yeah.
Plus, also, my sister, which, is watching, she just got into realty.
Okay.
So, she just sent me a text last week. Hey, just got my license. Wish
Nice.
me luck. I'm looking into doing, I think she said, like, get into HUD realty or something like
Yeah,
that.
HUD homes.
Yeah,
I'm
and so... but yeah, so that's why I was like, okay, and
Tell her to call me. I'll point her in the right direction.
I will do that. I will do
Yeah.
that. And she's really excited about it. And she
Nice.
she actually worked hard on it with studying, because I remember
Good for her.
a lot of times where I would call her and she's like, look, I can't talk. I'm studying. I got
Good for
this
her.
exam coming up. So she was
Took it
really
serious.
Oh yeah, she was very serious, and that's one thing about my sister. She's very entrepreneurship, like entrepreneur minded and dedicated to what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So, but
It
yeah,
takes up. That's one of the toughest things. I see people come out of a service industry or bartending, wherever it might be, getting their head wrapped around as far as you are a business owner, kind of gets away from you. And it did for me at one point when I first got licensed. You don't have a boss that's beating up your phone saying you better be here at 9:00.
Right.
Expectations are set in my operation, what we expect. Most places don't. They're just like show up or don't show up. So when you don't have that, and you don't have a set schedule, that's hard for people most of the time. They're used to, when do I show up? When do I take my lunch? When do I get a smoke
I'm
break?
guilty of that.
Yeah, so you're used to having that structure built
structure.
in. So you have to be good coming into being a real estate agent and applying that structure to yourself. Or if somebody gives it to you, holding yourself accountable to it.
Right.
And it's pretty common. A lot of people out there, they come into the business and wrap in their head about it, what it takes to win. I mean, just like I just mentioned, $15,000, $20,000. But at the same time, you're going to spend some work. You master your skill set. You got to finish out that transaction. If you can't get that person from A to B where they're feeling confident with you and they want to stay with you and they want to work with you, and then get them through the contract gracefully, then that commission's never going to exist at the end of the day.
Man, so what is one of the biggest concerns that a buyer would have?
Well, most buyers, when they come in, so they want to make sure they don't spend too much on a house and they don't miss out on their favorite property. And they want to have confidence in that realtor, that realtor is going to go to work for them and they're going to do what they have to do, find that right property and negotiate for them to make sure they get the best price possible at the same time.
So are you ever competing with other realtors?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Because I don't even know how this works.
Yeah,
so
it's okay.
So let's say, how does that work? Like, how are you competing with other realtors on the same house?
It could go a couple different ways. One is, let's say we do two things. Well, three, because I have a separate business. We buy properties. But on the most realtors, they're either going to be listing properties or helping somebody buy a property. So let's say I'm listing a property.
Okay.
And this house over here, house A, client calls me and they call one other realtor. They want to try two people. They want to say, okay, who's the best realtor?
So it's up to the
sell?
client to.
They're going to decide.
Okay.
So they're going to decide when they're listing. They could do an internet service. They could start cold calling themselves, call random brokerages. List could go on. Ask for a referral. So you go there and they're like, well, we're going to talk to Tom later today. We're going to see what Tom has, and then we're going to compare the two of you, and one of you is going to get the job. So what I normally do is I park outside, and if Tom pulls up after me, I grab Tom and I scare the crap out of him, tell him get back in his car, and they never hear from him. I get the job anyway. That's a joke.
I just pictured the whole movie right there. Like, man, I can just imagine, realtor wars.
Yes, that's a good one.
Like, oh man, watch this guy. And you got a guy sitting over here, an investigator over here. Watch. We're going to be arresting this realtor here in a second. Watch what he does.
Yeah.
Just assaulted the other realtor to punk and bully him. Just got him out the area. Look, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's turf wars, you know?
It's so crazy.
It really is.
Yeah.
That's what like when you said that, I'm just like, oh my God.
Just got an idea for HDTV.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I wonder where this would go.
Oh,
you know?
God, that is so funny.
Right. So
you'll do that. And then on the buy side, what'll happen, like the market we just came out of, over the last 6 months, the last 2 years, 6 months prior-ish, at that point there, you had limited houses on the market. You had about 2,200, 2,300 at any given day here in Las Vegas. Right now, we're creeping up around 10,000. So with limited houses,
homes,
as far as homes for sale,
10,000.
Yeah, right now we have more of an abundance. Buyers have more opportunities. But prior to that, when we had less, we would have buyers, especially California traffic, coming down like crazy. So we would go show up to a house. You might show up to a house. There's a line. And you have your buyer, and you got 5 other people waiting to come in, and let's say all 5 come out and love it. Now what you're doing is running to Starbucks, writing up an offer. Everybody's submitting, and now all 5 offers are competing against each other to get the best price.
So will you deal with more than let's say more than one client as far as a person trying to buy a home?
Not on the same home. But, I mean, as far as multiple transactions at a time?
Well, not at a time, but I mean as far as, let's say I'm looking to buy a home, right?
Yep.
And there's this one house here, right? Let's say this guy over here, he's also under you, and he wants the same house. Will you deal with us too? Like, how does that work?
So if the guy under me works for me, is that what you mean?
Not works for you, but he's trying to buy the same home I'm trying to buy, but he's also working with you.
Oh, you're saying represent 2 clients.
Yeah, can you represent 2 clients on the same home?
That's very unethical. That is very unethical.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I didn't know.
I would never do that.
What would make that unethical? Why would that be unethical?
Because now, think about it. It's almost like a lawyer representing 2 people and just trying to... You're saying you're innocent. This one's saying they're innocent. They're coming to the same lawyer. It's like, well... Whose back do you have? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like, do you have my back or his back? Because I know I'm innocent. Well, he says he's innocent too. And the lawyer's like, well, you're both paying me. I don't care. That's kind of what that is.
You two figure it out. Yeah. I just want the money.
Yeah, exactly.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So now there's times I'm representing, because we do multiple transactions per month, but I would never have them on the same property.
Jamie, you hear that? Hey, guys, you hear that?
Yeah.
There's the answer to some of you guys who's thinking like me.
Yeah,
you represent multiple clients
on the
same property.
Yes, that is
very unethical. He said he emphasized it. I wouldn't.
That is a rough one. Yeah,
okay.
Is not good.
Well, I gotta ask. I don't know. How it's working. I'm intrigued by it. And too, my sister ain't here, so I can't ask.
Yeah, exactly.
But with somebody who's experienced, well experienced,
Yeah.
Hey,
could you imagine? They're like, Johnny, well, who bought the house? I don't know. Do you have any idea what his name is? No idea. Meanwhile, you're selling the guy the house, giving him the keys. You know what I mean? That's rough. That is rough.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait. I thought you was trying.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my house, Johnny.
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny, be good now.
Yeah,
come on.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be. Johnny, you sold me out. He offered you $5,000, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
That's where my head would go.
Yeah.
He didn't bribe you. Okay.
But in limited inventory, it got sticky like that because you would have multiple people call you on the same property. It's like, holy crap, man.
So it can get sticky like that.
Well, a lot of times during that time, a lot of our traffic was coming from California, and you just have to tell people, if I had Jim call me and Sam call me, and I'd say, look, multiple people are calling. It's whoever can get here first. Whoever can get
come, first serve.
That's all I can do. They will not hold a house right now. They will not wait. They're waiting for somebody to get here. Jim's like, I'll get there in 2 hours. So you literally have people jump in a plane like that. And then somebody else like, well, I can be there in a week. Well, if it's here in a week, then we can discuss, but chances are it won't. Because we're having houses sit on the market for minutes, literally. We'd send over a photographer for pictures, and that photographer's getting ready to put it online, get a phone call, heard you have this house that's going online in the next couple hours. Can we look at it early? They'd run over there, and all of a sudden it's in contract. It's like, man, Didn't even have to finish pictures. This is crazy.
So with there being 10,000 open homes, does that lower the price because of demand, or how?
So it's made adjustments within the market. It's just like anything. Just think about it as far as supply and demand. If there's more supply, then there's going to be less demand, and vice versa at the end of the day. So right now, buyers coming into Vegas or buyers in Vegas, they're looking to move local. Since they have more opportunities, they have more leverage at the end of the day. So the market that we're in right now, we're a bit of what they call as a shift. So now the buyers have the opportunity to go ahead and work, and they may position a seller to where, hey, I would love to buy your property, but I'm not going to buy it unless I can get X discount, whatever it might be. They are in position. Over the last 2 years, sellers were in position. Buyers were not in position. There's all kinds of memes and jokes on Instagram and these guys making these Apple jokes about it. It was really happening because these sellers were like, well, I have 10 of you that want to come in and purchase. The house is $300. Give me your highest and best. And some people are like, well, I'll offer you $350, $375. See houses go that were listed for $300. Now all of a sudden they're selling for $400. It was just insanity because you'd have people just like any bidding or any auction. The highest bidder is going to walk away with the property, and depending how bad you want it is with the money you're going to spend.
Right.
And people look at us as the realtors as the problem. Our job is not to make decisions for anybody. Our job's to make sure fiduciary duties are represented proper, negotiate for you proper. At the end of the day, it's really the consumers drive up the traffic in either direction. There's nothing we can do to control that.
Right.
Yeah, we went crazy for the last 2 years. Our heads were spinning. It was. We didn't want it like that. People were like, oh, you're living the gravy train. Not really, because I don't sleep at night anymore.
So give me a nightmare scenario.
Let me think of something super crazy. There was a house that I did as far as out in Pahrump for this guy. Man, this guy, Ricardo, still best guy in the world, still talk to him to this day. So he had contacted our office, was dying for this property. It was like $90,000. It was being converted over into real property. So when we went through the transaction, turns out for financing, it has to be real property, which was listed as real property. We're going through the contract, going to the end, his EMD's in, we're going through inspections. We find out the property was never listed as real property. Then his lender ended up dropping out of it, and the guy ended up hosed.
What was it listed as?
Well, it was listed as real property, but it wasn't real property. So
what is considered real property?
It's fixed to the ground itself. So it has a structure. So you can take a trailer, for example, and it's a mobile home. If you go ahead and do what they call as a conversion, now it's real property. Real property is like a real single-family home at the end of the day when they do that conversion, which makes it applicable that where you can finance the property. You can't finance a mobile home. So not many people have $90,000 in their pocket. He didn't, but they had the financing available. So then when they made a mistake, the seller didn't realize it wasn't converted to real property. All the financing was about to fall through. Meanwhile, Ricardo, he's about to be kicked out on the streets. His landlord had already filled his apartment with somebody else and everything else. Yeah. So we had to figure out something, get Ricardo a temporary stay in at like an Airbnb of some nature, then go back into contract with another lender after we got the real property fixed on the home. Keep in mind, this house was going to close in 30 days. This house took 120 days to end up closing. It was absolutely crazy. These kind of deals, why they're so stressful, because I lose sleep at night. They told me every industry, car industry, timeshare industry, insurance, I would go gray. I never got my first gray, not that I'm full of gray hair. I keep my hair short for a reason. So I started getting some gray hair when I got into real estate because these deals keep me up at night like this because I go in panic mode. I'm like, man, if this guy ends up on the street because of me, this is on me.
You got to get that worry out, brother. I feel you, but you know.
I take ownership in that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a crazy one. Ended up taking 120 days. Finally got it to close. Guy's happy as a clam, living in the house till this day. Absolutely loves it. All that good stuff. Okay. So that was a really interesting one. Definitely was.
So, and do you flip homes?
So I don't flip them, but I do have a wholesale company. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and buy homes and sell them to flippers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not as excited about the flipping side. there's a huge return in flipping, but there's a lot of work and a lot of babysitting. I just have never been excited about dealing with contractors and roofers and tile guys and painters.
Yeah.
You got all of these moving parts. It does happen. Painter disappeared. This guy doesn't come in because he's out drinking all night. This guy skips out on town, goes and marries somebody in California, whatever. List goes on. And it's just like I've never been excited about getting that part. So what I did instead is I opened up a wholesale department because we run across a lot of deals. So what I'll do is I'll take those deals. Somebody who says, hey, you know what? This is a fire sale. I got to move to the Carolinas quick. The house is worth $200. I'll sell it to you for $100. So I'll go ahead. I'll purchase that home and I'll sell it to one of my flippers, put on my profit, whatever makes sense. That's healthy for the both of us. They'll go ahead and take it. They'll flip the property and then they'll go ahead and list it at that point.
Okay. So, excuse me. So again, guys who just joined us just recently, whatnot. Tell them where they can find you at, how they can reach out to you.
One of the easiest ways is through Instagram. If you have Instagram, it's going to be Johnny Richardson Jr., the Shark. That's what they call me in Vegas, the Shark. So that's one of the best ways. If you want to get a hold of me through a company number, you can always dial 702-608-5723. That's a direct, and you can have social media channels. You can look me up, Johnny Richardson. You put in Johnny Richardson, the Shark, into Google, I'll pop up all over the place.
Okay.
You name it. Those are the easiest ways.
And also, as far as do you guys do training like school for realty?
So what we do is we partner with a school. So we do have a scholarship program. So with our scholarship program, if somebody comes in and we only take a certain amount of applicants per month, so we'll take a look as far as how many people we're going to bring into the operation. So with the scholarship program, we'll send them to one of our preferred schools and we pay for their schooling if somebody's getting into real estate at that point. We'll do that. Now, where our niche is inside the office, this is where we're talking about in the beginning as far as somebody's skill set, their education. In the schooling, you're going to learn as far as law, processes, things you should not and should do. Then with us, we're going to teach you skill sets, how to get through transactions, and that's all going to be free education. We have constant classes, constant education, multiple times a week. And those classes, we even open them up to outside brokerages as well. So if somebody works for a Keller Williams, I represent Real Broker. They work for Keller Williams or Berkshire Hathaway, and they feel whatever form of leadership or training or whatever it is, they don't feel like they're getting what they're looking for.
Yeah.
We open the doors up to them because I feel the main factor is not finding transactions, it's finding relationships. I like to build relationships even with opposing realtors.
Okay.
I do. Everybody told me I was crazy. It's like, why do you want to be friends with all these realtors? It's very important when you're doing a transaction, there's somebody on the other side. I would rather have somebody I know, I like, I trust on the other side I'm working with because I've spent time with them in the past.
Right. And I agree with you on that one too, because things can also move smoother, and also you never know, you might be able to, hook each other up, know, in a sense. So
exactly.
Give me a scenario again. I want a scenario of give me a common mistake realtors make.
One of the most common mistakes they make is they come in and they think they're just gonna fall into deals and make a mistake that there's not going to be work that's put in. Here's the thing: you're going to come in, you're going to put in some hours, you're going to put in some overtime. The first year, don't expect to take some vacations, but if you do this and you put the hard work in for 12 months, you put that in for 12 months, and you're coachable, follow the process, listen to leadership, you will have a very successful career. You need 12 months of straight through. Now, I'm not saying you have to work every weekend.
Right.
Like, that's above and beyond. I did that. I'm a workhorse. Not everybody's built that way. They need a little bit more time. They have families. They have kids. It all makes sense. But you're not going to come in and you're not going to do it part-time. You're not going to come in for 2 hours a day and be sporadic. You're going to treat it like this is your job, have ownership in it, and put that work in the beginning for a 12-month run, and you'll do amazing with it.
Okay.
My guys that start with me, as long as they commit to a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, and they do an open house on the weekend, and they go ahead and do that and still do their holidays and their family time, they're very successful. One of my guys, he came in, he was a caddy down at the golf course, came in with us, never sold real estate a day in his life. He just crossed over a year. He closes 5 transactions per month, 5 deals per month.
Wow! Now imagine that's almost $100,000 a month. If you know
Depending
he's pushing
on price
$15,000
point.
to $20,000.
Yeah, on those price points,
Right.
so, some commissions are 6, some are 7, some are 20. He sees them all, everything in between.
Oh, so some are like 6,000. You said?
Yeah, if it's a smaller house, could
I
be.
got you. I see.
I don't like to overpromise. Those big ones are out there, 100%. The 7s. We had brand new agents come in and close houses that were over $1 million.
So if you were to close a house on $1 million, what would you make?
Yeah, if you're closing on a house that's over $1 million, you're gonna make over $30,000.
Okay. $30,000 a month, though. Still
a nice payday. You'd solve a lot of problems with that, right?
you can't. I mean, to a lot of people, that's 1 year's salary.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100% right.
Like for example, when I was in school for be a surgical tech, like working at KFC. Yeah, that was. I wasn't making a lot. I could see probably $30,000 that year, and you're like, man, I made that 1 month. Wow. Imagine that, guys. So if you're looking to get into realty, it can be very promising. Yep. You just got to also put the footwork in from what he's telling you.
That's right.
And that's also with anything you do. So if you are wanting to be an entrepreneur, you need to put that footwork in. Treat it as a business, a 9 to 5, like he's telling you. So take what he's telling you to heart. And this is also the reason why I bring in multiple different people who do different things. Because again, there's people that you can get and take that advice from different angles and put your own little spin on it. So listen to what these guys are saying. There's a reason why I love doing the show, having entrepreneurs on there, especially entrepreneurs who love sharing and helping out others. Also, man, before we start shutting it down, again, tell them where they can find you at, and also let them know a website. As far as if there's clients out there looking to buy a home.
So if you're looking as far as on the consumer side, you look up the Richardson Group.Vegas.
And that's your realtor company.
Yep, that's the real estate company. We are the Richardson Group. That's right here in Vegas. We're part of the Real platform, so Real Broker. But if you go to the Richardson Group.Vegas, you'll be able to see properties, contacts, you name it, the list goes on. But that's a good way to go to reach us as well.
All right.
And then you'll use the social media platforms at Johnny Richardson Jr., the Shark. Drop me a message in there if you're looking to be a realtor or have somebody that's looking to be a realtor. And that's in Vegas or any other state, including Canada even as well.
Canada. Mm-hmm. You got your reach in Canada. Look at that.
Exactly.
So guys, and also too, this is also for my sister. She's in Carolina. Hit the guy up. I mean, he's very outgoing, very humble,
Thanks,
to be honest with you, man.
Thank you.
And that's something, you're very approachable, and that's a trait not a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And that's a very good trait to have.
Thank you.
And yeah, guys, I reached out to him on Instagram. He does reach back to you, so don't think he's one of these people who helps out and does this and it's hard to get to. No, he's not. I'm not a big name person, and he actually, reached back and was like, yeah, we could do it. And, again, thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to have you on the show.
Absolutely.
And above all, thank you for providing this information to people. And one more time, what is Johnny Richardson Jr. on IG? The Shark.
IG. If you look up Johnny Richardson, that's Johnny JOHNNY Richardson Jr. The Shark. You'll see a little shark logo pop up. That's me right there.
Yeah, the little shark logo. I ain't gonna lie, I like the little shark logo. It's with a black background and a blue shark.
You got it.
So if you see that, and it looks like the shark is kind of jumping out the water.
Yeah.
So if you see that, that's that Johnny. And to be honest with you guys too, if you are looking for a home, hit up Johnny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come check him out.
I'm here for you. And that includes Vegas or any other state because I have operations all over. So we just did a deal earlier this week over in San Antonio.
And right now too, guys, you're hearing it from one of the biggest realtors out here. Right now the market is in the buyer's hands.
Yeah, I mean you're in a good position, absolutely.
So right now it ain't the market ain't in the seller's hands, so we might not see prices jumping up or people multiple offers to get it out.
Exactly. You're good.
And if the multiple offers is what's going to hurt. So
yep, exactly. God. Get it while it's good.
Get it while it's good. And also, don't if you plan on getting the home, don't sit around procrastinate. Say, hey, I'll be there in a week.
Hop on it. Could
like
disappear anytime.
Like he said he can't hold the house for you.
Yeah.
This ain't layaway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can't do down payments.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you $500 just to hold. No. You need to jump right on that.
You got it.
And those who want to get into realty, hit them up. They also, like he said, they provide a program so you can, possibly get your school paid for. Which, hey, making $20,000 a month sounds great. I won't even lie to you. It intrigued me a little bit.
Yeah, see, there you go. You'll be calling the doc after
and I do surgery, but that's a good jump in pay. So hey, look into it. My sister got into it. She sounds very excited. I will have her reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any help I can be.
So it's going to be great. And again, man,
hey, pleasure.
Thank you for having me. And we'll have to bring you on again too, man.
Absolutely.
And maybe you bring a friend and somebody you might be mentoring or something. I don't know. We'll see. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, and guys, and again, thank you for stopping by the Spot Podcast. We got more projects coming up. We'll see you guys again here pretty soon. And again, hit out Johnny Richardson Jr. on IG. That's where I got him at. And if you're looking to buy a home or looking to get a realty, get into it. You guys enjoy your night.
You got it. See ya.